Okay, good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for joining. And especially thank you to MCCIA Pune and Mr. Parag Kulkarni and his admin team to give me this opportunity to share with all of you what I have learned from my knowledge, experience, observation, and assessment about what we all are going through this COVID-19 disease as of now. As Prime Minister yesterday, during his meeting with chief ministers, he mentioned that now onwards, our time zone will be divided pre-COVID and post-COVID. As Parag Bhai mentioned, I'll be taking and try to answer your questions if there are any in a most possible way. The title of the presentation, as Parag Bhai mentioned, it's very big. Yes, every word there, it's meaningful. And I'm sure in pre-COVID scenario also, many of the MSMEs, we were kind of fighting, or if I may, struggling to gain profitability because of the slow growth in the industry, and especially in Pune and around Pune. Many of the MSMEs, they are depending upon one of the largest industrial segment, that's automotive, which is really struggling hard since last few months. I will try to make a sincere attempt here to share what I think and believe, which can be achievable, practically, feasibly, how to gain a decisive competitive edge to drive the profitability even during and beyond this COVID-19 situation we are facing today. But let me just, warn is not the right word, that what I'm going to share with you, these are the guidelines. These guidelines could definitely help you to create your better version, which was better than what you had before January 2020, and especially March 2020, when we all got affected by the kind of a strict lockdown we are facing. Unfortunately, both the cities, Pune as well as Mumbai, from where I am talking with you guys and where I live and work from, I think we may still have to wait for a few more days, if not few more weeks, because of the continuously evolving and rather gaining the ill effect of COVID-19. One more thing I would like to share before we move on. The focus of this presentation is for the manufacturing industry players. Nevertheless, I'm sure if you are not in the manufacturing business, if you are in a trading business or in a distribution kind of a business, or even non-manufacturing business, the guidelines here definitely can help you to suit your environment with appropriate assumptions made. With this overview, I'll start the presentation. Now, first in the few slides, I would like to just do the warm-up kind of thing. Most of the things you must be aware of, but I'm going to throw some different perspective. Like, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, year 2020, we will definitely be recalling it later on as the year affecting next normals in every aspects of our life. We all are facing this, not only our business point of view, even socially also. I'm just taking a little risk gathering courage to share with you, even at our home, most of the male members, okay, from elderly to child, we now have really realized, at least in Indian context, our cultural system, the real value of what we call grihani, the housewife, the housemakers. And definitely, our normal has also got changed in many ways. The only solace, the comfort, again, it is not a right word, but we are not alone. We can no longer say why everybody is against me, why it's only me. The entire world, almost the entire world, is getting affected by this COVID-19. Now, yes, definitely, this is, I think, one of the lifetime crises we are facing. And every one of us, I'm sure, we don't want to see this kind of a crisis in our lifetime in the future. But even in our business, commercial life, we have seen every crisis provides us new opportunities if we are ready and willing to see it from different perspectives. Most important thing is, bigger the crisis, there are bigger potential opportunities available to us. Please, this is one of the theme of my current presentation. I want all of you to grab this opportunity. I would say it's a golden opportunity, okay, to create our better version. It will be only our choice, either to get a break or to make it and prosper now onwards. We cannot blame anybody else, neither our employees, nor our customers, nor our suppliers, bankers, or government. We will see what I mean by it. Though I think most of you are with me. Extreme situations necessitates extreme measures. Definitely. Let me forewarn you. What I'm going to share with you, I want you to just inspire you, motivate you to do introspection. This you may consider as thought-provoking presentation or information sharing with you. Please, if you really want to get out of this situation and prosper, you must take extreme measures, which probably you know, but you have never ventured taking those measures in the past so far. Now, this is little debatable. The goal of a for-profit company, from my perspective, is to make more money now and in the future. The important thing is for-profit. Most of you, I'm sure, we are in the business of making money. If we want to do some kind of donation, that we can do, but the sole purpose of our for-profit organization is to make more money now and in the future. Having said that, it's not suffice, but I would definitely like to add ethically and responsibly, both societally and environmentally. If we have not taken care of these societal and environmental factors until now, I'm sure going forward, we must focus on this and we must embroider these factors which are relevant to us to the extent in our commercial life going forward. Now, the holistic goal, that means overall goal of your for-profit company, okay, as I mentioned earlier, it's to make more money now and in the future. But again, somebody would argue, yes, we want to have secure and satisfied employees, which is paramount today. Most of us are hampered by flighting gone employees. And whoever are there, are they sufficient enough to run our business once we open the business? So this is going to be extremely important, as well as the customers. They are also important. We are facing very critical situation as long as the market, the customers are concerned. We may face any one of these 3 or 4 scenarios. There would be situations some customers would put our orders on hold, which might have completed 60, 70, 80%. Some customers even cancel the orders. We have paid from our own money. We still need to pay our suppliers, our employees. And one more positive scenario could be, there could be situations some customers will give us more business depending upon their past experience of dealing with us. Now, as far as the goal is concerned, anybody can decide one of this could be goal, but I had mentioned to make more money now, then the other two conditions could become necessary condition in order to accomplish our goal. You may have few more necessary conditions. Suppose, for example, pharma companies, for them, quality is extremely important. For example, there are some green products. For them, the environmental considerations could be extremely important. But please make sure you do not have more than 5 or 6 necessary conditions considering the goal. And all of them are interlinked. If one of them is not there, the goal will not be achieved. The equivalent elements in our worldly life, see, in Western world, this was engraved in our Aryan Sanskriti, our Indian philosophy. Wealth, health, and relationships. You see in the world today, whatever we see, whatever products we see, whatever interactions we do, they revolve around, directly or indirectly, either wealth or health or relationships. Nothing new about this. You all know this. We all are part of this. But I want to correlate. We want to create wealth, not only for us as a business owner, for our employees, for our society, for our government, so on and so forth. But at the same time, in present scenario, because of COVID-19 outbreak, health of our employees, including us, and everybody, every human in our entire supply chain is the most critical factor. And that's why you must have observed and noticed across the world, the first reaction was to maintain our health. We should not get infected by this virus. Equally important is relationships. In our entire supply chain, we know the importance, but it will be more crucial now going forward because really unbalanced, overstress, the kind of relationships you are going to have with related entities is going to play important role, okay, going forward. Next, since I'm going to talk more about how to drive profitability by creating innovative, decisive, competitive advantage, I want to just share with you. Financial accounting is for the external entities, okay, for reporting to the external parties. They focus on these 3 major parameters. Profit, which is an absolute parameter. Mostly we abuse this particular parameter. ROI, return on investment, that's a relative parameter. Relative to our investment, whatever we have invested in our business, what kind of return we are getting, which is more powerful than profit, cash flow. You probably all know. Even companies, they manage to run their business while they are unprofitable, but their cash flow is positive. So cash flow is the survival measure. Please bear with me. As soon as you start or even before starting, post this, if you're not done, post this session, try to think about the cash flow. cash flow management is extremely, extremely important. It should be top of your mind if you want to survive and make and prosper going forward. Similarly, for managerial accounting, these are the three measurements. I'm going to just explain you. See, financial accounting measures return on investment or cash flow. They are at the higher level, maybe for the top executive, maybe for the business owners in the MSME sector. But these measures, financial accounting measures, they really don't help us how to manage our business operations, how to take decisions, how to prioritize our activities, so on and so forth. So this managerial accounting is the mode of accounting we should follow operationally to gain profitability. This is very, very important. Now, the three measures are T margin, that is throughput margin, which is nothing but, in our standard accounting terms, it's a contribution margin, which I can say mathematically, your sales revenue minus your truly variable cost. Okay. So what I mean here is, whatever money is you have received by way of sales, okay, minus whatever money you need to pay out, where you have not done any kind of processing, any kind of value addition. Okay. For example, raw materials. For example, commissions. For example, custom duties, the transportation, so on and so forth. Here, there is no value addition from our organization. We need to pay this out. So sales revenue minus this kind of truly variable costs will give you throughput margin. I will just in a minute come back. Throughput margin, your goal, if you want to really become profitable sooner, is only and only focus on how to increase your throughput margin. Next, I stands for investment, which includes whatever you have invested in your plant, machinery, land, furniture, software, computers, even including your material inventories. For example, raw material, work in process, finished good inventories. That constitutes inventory. That's your investment. And the third one is operating expense. Okay, whatever the cost we have not considered as part of calculating throughput margin, truly variable cost, all remaining costs are put under this operating expense. These expenses are required in order to run the show. What I mean is, probably you might have guessed from my name by this time and from my pronunciation, I am a Gujarati. Okay, so you will also know going forward a little bit hints and peculiarity of Gujarati. Operating expenses like, in the morning, you want to open the shutters of your business. Until you close the business, whatever expenses you incur, they are part of operating expense. So variable cost combined with operating expense gives you total expenses of the running the business. Okay. This managerial accounting really helps you how to manage your operation, be it production, be it marketing, be it finance, be it support functions like quality, maintenance, so on and so forth. Unfortunately, today's session, I'm not going to talk more about these operational measures because it is out of purview of the topic of this session. Next, we all know, probably you know anytime better than even me. All the business owners are today recognizing and they are fearing, expecting many, many new challenges for foreseeable future. We don't know how long we need to wait, how long we will be able to create the new normal, stabilize, and then think about growing. Okay. But please, we all have to accept These are facts of life. These are part and parcel of our unfolding next reality. There is no point cribbing about, we don't have this, what is my fault, how can I manage this? If we want to survive and prosper, we have to accept them and do whatever needs to be done in order to achieve our goal. I would like to quote here what famous Albert Einstein's quote: problems cannot be solved at the same level of awareness that created them. This is why in the title I have mentioned new normal. The problems were created, okay, prior to COVID-19 and because of COVID-19. If we want to find the solution and move forward, we need to have a different kind of awareness. We need to think differently. Another quote, which is largely attributed to Albert Einstein, but according to my understanding, it was quoted by somebody else prior to Albert Einstein. Somebody has defined insanity in very few simple words. If we keep on doing the same thing again and again, and we expect different results, this is nothing but it's a definition of insanity. If we want different results, good, bad, ugly, best, worst, we must do something differently. This is one of the areas many of the MSMEs, they had overlooked in the past. This is the golden opportunity for all of us. It's like, I would say, it's a rebirth for us in the same life. We have to learn from the past, and whatever mistakes we have made, whatever gaps were there in the past, this is the opportunity, okay? We can do something differently to get and achieve different results. Now, one more scientist, Charles Darwin, historian. How can we forget theory of organic evolution of survival of the fittest? We know that, we have studied that, and we have even experienced in our day-to-day commercial life. Many of our colleagues, competitors, they have gone, they have vanished. We don't want to be one of them. The thing here is, the second line is no more a luxury for us. There is no second option. It is the only option available for us to survive. We need to adopt, we have to accept, we have to adapt. What is happening new? We need to improve from the past and from current scenario. Again, we have to refine, revise, and see whatever corrective actions we need to take. Because if not every day, if not every hour, every day, things are changing around us, in the environment around us. And ultimately, we need to grow. So if we want to really survive, make, and prosper, please, let's think wisely. What needs to be done? What we need to do? And this is where I'm going to give you some guidelines going forward. Now, please remember, even if you know, the important thing is to know that core purpose of your business has shifted now, or rather it is shifted. It is no longer why, it is how. You are already an existing business owner. This is my assumption. The thing is how to survive and move forward to prosper. This is now going to be your core purpose of your business. On dawn of new rules of doing, managing, and growing business. I briefly talked about it, and I'm going to little bit briefly elaborate going forward. Now, please ask yourself and give a serious thought, is and will remaining in our comfort zones of now be beneficial, be useful to us? If honestly you ask yourself a question, then you will decide your goal going forward. And then only you will focus and work towards achieving it. Many of you might have read the book called Blue Ocean Strategy. Okay. the two authors of that book, and if somebody has not read this book, this is a good time to read this book. But unfortunately, the authors in the book, they have honestly confessed, they have focused on creating the competitive landscape, okay, where there is no competition. So they want you to create a new landscape. Unfortunately, many of us we are existing business owners. In pre-COVID world also, we were facing this red ocean. Red ocean is nothing but severe competition due to various reasons. Maybe our incompetencies, maybe others are doing better than us, whatever the reason may be. So I am going to share some thoughts with you how to create your own blue version in your existing business. Now, with this evolving new normal, I am recommending you personally, please, please, please introspect. What has happened now? What were you doing earlier? How it is going to impact you? How you are going to resolve the issues, concerns, and problems that you are and you may be facing in the future. Then you need to conceptualize your business blueprint, which I'm going to talk in for a couple of times during the presentation. Then you have to create, evolve, innovate, stabilize, and leverage. To do what? To grow as visionary leaders. Maybe in the past you were followers, you were laggards. I'll just share a short story with you. A few years back, I was attending a seminar for SME audience. Okay, the speaker, there were about 30 business owners, top level or just below the top level, attending that particular seminar. One of the speakers, he asked the audience, how many business owners are in the business since last 2 years, since last 10 years, since last 25 years? I was surprised that the maximum number of the hands raised, they said that we are in the business since last between 10 to 25 years. There were very few who had started their businesses 2 years back. And then the speaker asked them, just ask yourself, in last 25 years, okay, you are still in the SME sector. Do you enjoy your comfort zone? Do you enjoy whatever you are gaining? That time we had a lot of other issues, like even octroi issue, the government taxation issues, host of other kind of issues. But today, GST, we have to consider as our good friend rather than enemy. So my sincere suggestion, please don't only think about surviving and growing, but become a visionary. I will give you an example. That's a Pune-based organization. A few days back, I was listening to one of the who is the CEO of Serum Institute of India, based out of Pune. He talked that COVID-19 vaccine creation, he mentioned about projection. I was flabbergasted. Okay, he said that they are expecting to develop the vaccine by May 2020. That means by the end of next 21 days. And they are expecting to sell it in the market by October 2020. All of us must have learned and heard. The vaccine is going to take a lot of time because of host of reasons, regulatory testing, so on and so forth. But here is the company. It's not a very old company. And Mr. Adar Poonawalla, I believe he is in late 30s or early 40s. And he claimed, okay, on a news channel, how he did it. We need to really understand. This is a good case study for you guys. how you can become a visionary leader and really turn this opportunity as a golden opportunity going forward. Now, this requires need to rekindle our entrepreneurial spirit. Imagine, if not you, your father or your grandfather first started your business enterprise. That time, the person, the kind of entrepreneurial spirit he had, we have lost. Many of us, we have lost. We have read, we have heard, we know it, we talk about this. But do we really exercise this entrepreneurial spirit? This is the time we need to reignite. We need to use it and capitalize on it. Now, fortunately, this is again a positive thing. Today, you are not starting anew for the first time. Today, you are armed with knowledge, your experience, your infrastructure, your supplier, so on and so forth. When you started or whenever your business was started, they did not, I'm assuming, have all those things. But today, you are armed with all those things. The organizational rebirth today calls for rapid response to what is happening right now. We need to create rapid recovery. We need to really reinvent rapidly to gain rapid wealth. Trust me, what I know, you are much stronger than you might think you are. Please, please, please. You, most of you, between 2000 and 2010. Okay. Even this crisis, though it is affecting all of us around us, it will take little more time, and unfortunately, it is affecting our health. Jaan hai to jahan hai. But trust me, you are much stronger, okay, than what you think are. Please remove if you have any kind of pessimistic thoughts. Okay, don't involve into pessimistic discussions, participations. Okay, even if you happen to involve in the pessimistic discussions, please, your thinking should be, if these are the problems, how I'm going to get out of it. The problems are going to be there. They will not get vanished. You need to find before others and implement what are the probable, possible, sensible, relevant solutions for you and your business. I would like to quote Henry Ford's quotation here, which many of you might have read earlier. I have seen in many of the organization. This is very important, what I mentioned. Whether you believe you can or you can't, you are always right. What it means, and what I want you to do is just say, I am strong. I am going to withstand this crisis, this tsunami. I'm going to come out of it, and not only come out of it, I'm going to prosper. That's my goal as soon as possible. Now, this is with this particular foundation background. These are the next slides until the end are going to be the guidelines which I want to share with you. Again, this is not the comprehensive list. Again, this is not going to encompass all different kinds of businesses, okay, different kind of industries, different kind of customers. But these are the basic guidelines according to my assessment, according to my observations, okay? Systems thinking. Again, many of you might have heard about this, okay? This is the real thing. People are using this, and this is the only rapid, effective way out from this situation. What is system thinking? Very brief overview. We all know this. Think about your own business. Your own business entity is a part of higher business process, which is again a part of higher industry, again, which is a part of, could be a part of higher industry. Until at least the highest we can think about this universe is the system. So we all are part of subsystems, whatever level we are at. Okay. Now, I have a question for you. Unfortunately, I'm not going to request you to raise your hand. That's why I have put the answer also on this next section of this particular slide. There are two kinds of systems which I have portrayed here. Because of division of labor, as the business has grown, it was unmanageable, okay, to manage by few people. So as the business grows, number of resources grows, number of customers grows, number of markets served by your organization grows. So you have created, because of division of labor, okay, different, the organization structure, if I may, okay. On the left, there is a system which has got 4 independent components. And I define here, the system is nothing but, system is an entity made up of different interdependent, interacting components in order to achieve system's overall goal. So in that sense, your organization is a system, our family is also a system. Okay. So my question is, which is a complex system? Just ask yourself, though the answer is there. I'm going to give you the explanation. Many of you, if you have not encountered the systems thinking, you might think the system on the right is a very complex because it has got many more components, it has got many more interfaces, so on and so forth. So we may consider that system on right as depicted is more complex than system on left. No, my friends, system on right is much simpler to manage. Because if you notice, see the different arrows, they are interfaces. The system on the right, the top bottom component, if you manage that component, that drives, because of the interfaces it is creating by way of first order or higher orders, the entire system. So if you manage, in this example, the lowermost, bottommost component on the right side depicted system, you will be able to manage the entire system. How much time will it require? How much resources it will require? But here, unfortunately, most of us, we are trying to manage all components, all functions, all departments, okay? But we really don't go to the root causes. We just superficially touch on the symptoms. Now, system on the left, it is comprising of 4 independent components. It's extremely difficult to manage this kind of a system because we don't know which component, which independent component is going to behave in which way. So it is going to be always extremely difficult to manage a system the way it is depicted in the left-hand side. Just to give you connection, the correlation, what you can make. This next sub part of the slide, I'm really sorry, which I had created. It is not properly visible here, but I would try to depict here make to stock environment. Okay. Starting with the market research based on the market, targeted market, so and so forth. I try to put different various key components of this particular system. Okay. If you see, okay, the same thing you can visualize for your company here. This is what I want you to do right now. Okay. If you touch any of the components, say production planning, which is connected to the other components. Okay. So if you do something with the production planning, you will definitely, whether you know it or don't know it, whether you try to find out or don't find out, the other connected components, functions, processes, sub-processes, they are going to get impacted. And many times, okay, maybe in an undesirable way. So in any kind of a system, okay, which is made up of interdependent, interacting components to achieve the purpose, the objective, the goal of the system, okay, if you touch any of the components, any part, any element, most likely the entire system is going to get impacted. And many times we really don't realize this. You might be wondering, you are putting in 12 hours, 14 hours per day since last 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Every product you try to do costing. In every product, most of the products, okay, you try to get profit margin. But at the end of the day, you might have realized, I'm not getting that kind of a profit. I've done all the calculation. I've thought many of the things. I've planned for many things. But why I'm not getting the profit which I had planned for? This could be the real reason. Our profit gets evaporated, okay, somewhere else within the system while doing the business, managing the business. To just extrapolate this particular slide, consider the horizontal cylindrical bar which I had shown. Okay, blue and the gray, they are the different links. So there are totally 9 links. Like what we have seen in the earlier slide. Okay, there were different links. In this system of 9 links, my dear friend, whether you are a commerce graduate or a science graduate, we all have learned probability and statistics. That time, we were wondering, while I was in 9th standard, 12th standard, how the hell, sorry, pardon my language, am I going to, and where am I going to use probability and statistics? This is the real eye-opener for all of you. If you have not come across this perspective earlier, in a system made up of 9 links, which are interdependent, interacting, my dear friends, there are 40,000 first order different effects. And if you consider second and higher order effects, what I mean is, if you change something, the system's behavior is going to get changed. We are going to have more than 1 million different kind of effects. This is the real problem. If you really understand this, try to find out how to resolve this and try to use as a weapon, you will gain the competitive advantage. Next. Now I want to talk about supply chain. We briefly touched about a particular business, a supply chain. We all know this. We are a part of a supply chain. Okay? Maybe many of you are manufacturing businesses. Supply chains are disrupted. They will be more disrupted even once the lockdown relaxes. It is already overstretched, overstrained, and unbalancing in the supply chain is going to get increased. Okay? We are part of the supply chain. We are part of this system. We need to really understand where we are, how we are getting affected, how we affect the other components of the supply chain, and we have to take appropriate relevant actions going forward in order to achieve our goal. Supply chain is going to also have new normal possibilities. Please, now new supply chain models, they are going to get shorter and shorter. The effect of globalization is going to diminish going forward in many of the industries. Okay, so here I am just assuming, and I have a big concern. Okay, if this becomes true, what will happen to our exports? I'm not saying exports will be stopped, but the dependence on export, we have to really think through it, how it is going to get impacted. Second thing, the supply chain is going to be more and more online driven. Okay, all the components, they are going to go more and more online to play their role. Now, the supply chains of new normal will require collective collaboration, coordination, and cooperation. Again, these are the words we have heard innumerable times, but have we really used them? Are we really exercising them? But if we don't do in a collective manner, even government, by way of stipulating policies, rules, regulations, they are also indirectly stakeholders of our supply chain. So we need to really collaborate, even coordinate with all other different involved, affected participants of our supply chain, and we need to cooperate. Now, the effect of these two, we will have different kinds of models of supply chain. Presently, we are having a sequential supply chain. First is develop, source, make, deliver, and support. Generally, many of you are even facing this, a linear sequential supply chain today. Many of you might have experiencing, even without your knowledge, the next new normal in the supply chain is concurrent networks, which is going to be digitally driven. Okay, it's going to be networks. You will have many competing partners in this network. DSN stands for Digital Supply Networks, Distributed Digital Supply Chain Networks. So we really need to understand where are we fitting, or what is going to be with me, my business going forward, and we have to take very rapid actions. Now, second thing I want to emphasize is, with this knowledge of systems thinking, supply chain effect, you need to create and practice your business blueprint. You might have heard of business models. I like to call it business blueprint. It is the same. But your business blueprint is not going to be made and just posted on your walls. It's going to be an agile business blueprint. It is going to be a living business blueprint. What I mean by this is, going forward, if not every week, you must, at least for some time, at least for next 3 to 6 months, in whatever business you are, okay, you have to recheck, revisit your business blueprint, your business model. I'm going to give you some example later on, okay, at least every 4 to 6 weeks. And depending upon what is happening in your environment, the dynamics of your supply chain, the dynamics of government rules, you need to take appropriate revised actions. So in order to create business blueprint, you must think about these 5 factors. First, your survival, then sustenance, then how you will become stabilized, immunize. Tomorrow, please, friends, we all know that this is maybe one of a kind, but I'll just share with you, according to my knowledge, there were 3 COVID kind of outbreaks in the past. The last happened 10 years back. We were not aware. Many of us, most of us were not aware because we did not get affected that time. So tomorrow, COVID or tsunami, something is going to come up. Definitely. So we need to immunize. The business blueprint should help us to immunize from similar kind of tsunami. If at all it arises, then only we will be able to grow. Now, the most important thing for you guys, again, I'm just repeating, I'm going to share some guidelines, some thoughts from my understanding and assessment of my observation. Most of the things, what you are going to see, you know it, but you have to think, am I exercising this? Am I implementing this? Or was I? Or going forward, do I need to do that? So while reinventing, we have to learn, we must learn to undo whatever is not relevant, whatever is not valid today from your past. And we have to relearn by experimentation. There is no one silver bullet. There is no one single answer. Only thing we can learn and become wise through experimentation. In whatever way, with risk-free, without taking much resources, time, and money. We need to do experimentation to get ourselves convinced to live in the new normal. Most of you, I'm taking little liberty, we again know that systems and processes, we need that. Many of you, you have systems and processes. Okay. But please, in the system thinking way, if you want to implement going forward, you must have systems and processes where I will just share with you in the following bullet points, which you all are aware. You must focus holistically and systemically. That means if you do something somewhere in one of the functions, you need to be aware of how it will impact the other function, other department, other team, or other component of the supply chain. First and foremost thing is human capital management. We all know, we all say humans are our biggest asset. Friends, now we have really realized they are the biggest asset. Unfortunately, it was never in our income statement, profit and loss account, or balance sheet. And going forward also, I doubt whether it will be in one of these statements. Okay, but human capital, we have understood and realized the importance of it. We are having problems of migrations. We are having problems, going to have problems when they return, if at all they return. How to manage them, how to safely operate our businesses, so on and so forth. I don't want to elaborate on this because there are a few other things which we need to talk about. But this is going to be very, very crucial. Our organization has to wear a human cap going forward. Next is finance and performance measures. Let me tell you, even in pre-COVID scenario, if, and most of you must be using, if at all you are using a cost allocation method while trying to figure out what is the cost of product or service you are providing to your customers. Then you put on top of it the margin, okay? And you remove all government levies, interest, depreciation, amortization to get the profit, final figure of the profit. Friends, I'm making here a bold statement. If at all earlier you were using cost allocation method to derive your product cost, friends, you would blatantly, exceedingly damaging profitability of your business. Unknowingly, you are making extremely undesirable impacts on your business, because the cost accounting method of coming up with the product costing and deriving the profit, they are today irrelevant. The assumptions which were made in the late 18th century and early 19th century, they had different kind of environment, different assumptions were there. Okay, today they are no longer valid. So there are means and ways. Probably you must be wondering what Piyush is right now talking about. He's talking rubbish. Almost everybody, okay, small to the largest organization, they are using this, and Piyush is talking this. But believe me, friends, what I'm talking, I know what I'm saying. I have the proofs. And given an opportunity in your environment, with your numbers, I can prove what you were doing until now. Okay. So finance and performance measures are again going to be critical situation, because the cash problem, everybody is worried about the cash. First is the human manpower, second is the cash, and third is the market. Okay. We had all these three issues earlier, but the impacts are now exponential. It's not addition, not multiplication, the exponential. And they are going to we are going to face cascading effects. All these three combined: human capital, finance, and market. Business development, your orders. Okay. So whenever you do any investment, whenever you take any make or buy decision, okay, whenever you decide on which product to manufacture or not to manufacture, to come up with, like in stock market, we have stock portfolio. If you're not heard, I want you to use now onwards your product portfolio. Your product portfolio, you must decide, you should have the control of selecting your product portfolio. And this is one of my personal goal to make especially SMEs to take a call whether they want to take some order or not. You should not be at the mercy of your customer. Maybe it's tier 2, tier 1 or OEM. And there are ways, practical ways. Production, again, lot of inefficiencies, lot of unproductivities, lot of wastes are there in the production. I don't want to elaborate. Many of you already know. But again, there are some eye-opening approaches one can use. Next is engineering and new product development. Please, whoever is capable enough or whoever is on the verge or whoever is wants to get into this to grow, okay, get into new product development. Government of India, railways, defense, aerospace, okay, they are big oceans. How to get into these industry segments, that's a different challenge. But if you have capability, if you stretch a little bit, you have to take extreme measures to come out of extreme situations. Please focus on new product development and your engineering side. You should become self-dependent here. Now, distribution and supply chain management, if applicable, many of you being in the MSME sector, I'm assuming here, this may not be applicable to you. This is largely applicable in case of make-to-stock environment. You are normally into, most of you are normally into make-to-order environment. Okay, so distribution is not your part of your business system. Supply chain, yes, to a certain extent, especially your raw material suppliers, your outsourcing, so on and so forth, and especially your customers. Okay, so there are again very breakthrough solutions available which are non-conventional. If applicable, within very few days, if not few days, few weeks, you will see direct impact on your bottom line. So this reminds me, the second point, finance and performance measures. I can even bluntly say that COVID-19 or no COVID-19, if you were using cost allocation measure to do your product costing and derive your profits, looking at only in changing the way you are managing your business through these financial measures. In the first, in the earlier slide, I had mentioned about financing accounting measures and then managerial accounting measures. If you change from financing to accounting to manage your operations, I am bluntly making conscious declaration here. If you change only your finance measures to improve your operations, you can gain 2 to 10% profitability. This is the way we used to manage business earlier. This is the golden opportunity COVID-19 has given us to make and prosper going forward. Next, again, next two things, marketing and sales. I've heard ample times, even I'm fed up of this. We also say this in SME sector. There is no marketing and sales separation. That's fine. We are not talking here about the department functions or teams. We are talking, at least I am talking here about the marketing processes and sales processes. Marketing and sales are two different things. Okay, but unfortunately, the way we manage our business conventionally, our industry around, our business partners and friends, they are also using the same thing. So we are also following the same thing. Let me define very briefly what I mean by marketing and sales. Marketing is nothing but, many of you must have seen, I forgot, the movie Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge. In that, Amrish Puri, father of Kajol, okay, he has been shown to spread grain pieces in the field for the birds to come and eat them. Okay, marketing is nothing but spreading these grain uh, pieces, or I would say corn pieces, in the field. Marketing is nothing but spreading these grain pieces on the field so that the birds will get attracted and they come on the field to eat the spreaded corn or grain pieces. Whereas sales is defined. Okay, shooting the said birds with your gun. You have to win the order. That is what I mean. So even if you are a one-man show in your organization or very few people managing the show, we don't want different teams here. I'm not saying you hire different people if not required. But please understand, difference between marketing and sales, and decide and take appropriate actions accordingly. Strategy and tactics formulation. Again, when we go in this kind of seminars, go for trainings, okay, read some management books, we will talk about strategy and tactics. Okay, tactics is nothing but based on strategy, what kind of activities we need to take. Okay, but please think, do you have your strategy and tactic written, formulated? We all say it is there in my mind. It is there in some word files. I have scribbled something on paper. And we have forgotten where we have kept them. And in day-to-day routine firefighting mode, we have forgotten what we need to do. Whenever I go to any prospect, even to existing customer, they say, we want to do this, but we don't get time. Friends, what we are talking about, even this entire session, what I'm sharing with you, I want you to develop strategy and come up with appropriate activities, tactics to make this strategy realized. And in next slide, I'm going to give you a different approach of strategy because I want you to use at least remaining part of this lockdown period, which Pune people and Mumbai people are going to face. You can create sitting at home, do introspection, what I said earlier, conceptualize, create, okay, your own business specific based on your role in the supply chain, your own strategy and tactic, which I'm going to share with you in the next slide. Next, exercise futuristic live business blueprint. We talked about business blueprint few slides ago. So I'm not going to elaborate anything here, but it is a living document. It's not once written and forgotten. It needs to be updated based on the changes happening around us internally and externally. And again, I'm going to share an example of a business blueprint after a few slides. Now, application of systems thinking oriented concepts. Many of you must be using this directly, indirectly, formally, informally. UKM, we all know what it means, TPM, TPS Lean. TPS is Toyota Production System. Lean got actually birthed from Toyota Production System. Six Sigma, TOC is Theory of Constraint. These are all business concepts. I call them business technology. They are founded on systems thinking principles. Unfortunately, so-called practitioners, especially in the SME sectors, because of various reasons, time, money, effort, resource constraint, okay, we have used so far in bits and pieces of various systems thinking based concepts. So that's why rather than we getting benefited, we are in fact damaging our business and its profitability. If you want to use something, go full-heartedly. It will take some time. It will you require to spend your resources and money, but it will be well worth. Last but not the least, please, I want to again recommend strongly application of sensible innovative technology, ICT, information and communication technologies. What we are doing right now, we are using Zoom meeting, okay, application to share, at least I'm sharing my thoughts right now. Management information system, industrial IoT, big data, AI, artificial intelligence driven analytics, okay, virtual reality and simulation. All these things will help you in other above mentioned functions, departments, processes, whatever you want to call, to really gain competitive advantage. I'm not saying use all of them, which makes sense to you. You have to prioritize the list, which is more relevant to you, and you have to focus. Say you think 12 things are required, make a priority list, and based on time allocated, resources available, and money required, you focus only on 2 or 3 of them at a time. I'm not saying you do everything together. If you do everything together, again, you are going to damage it. Okay, multitasking, if you are not good at good multitasking, okay, multitasking, again, a big killer of productivity of management. Now, strategy and tactic formulation. S&T stands for strategy and tactic. The way in this particular approach strategy is defined is, it is an objective of a desired change to attain a higher level goal. If you recall my second slide, the goal of your organization, for-profit organization, is to make more money now and in future. What are the 2 necessary conditions? You should have satisfied and secure employees and delighted and loyal customer base. This is what it is. In order to achieve the higher level goal of making more money, okay, you have to create strategy for how to make your employees more secure and satisfied. Similarly, at that particular level, whatever the components are. What is tactic? Tactics are activities, nothing but required to attain the objective of the desired change. That means to accomplish the objective of the strategy. How to? Okay, I have depicted below a graphical representation of that, but in the next part, let me elaborate. On the left-hand side, you see the way we create, if at all we are creating strategy and tactics as of now. Okay, we don't know, okay, where the strategy ends and where the tactics, the activities start. Okay, just focus on the left-hand side triangle. There is a top level strategy. Beneath that, let's call it as 0 level. On the first level, there are 2 tactics as depicted in this picture. On the second level, there are 6 different tactics, 3 underneath each of the second level. So here, we really don't know. By doing this, if at all we are doing this, we are creating a very chaotic, very ambiguous, very abstract level environment. Okay. For example, one particular tactic or strategy is touching multiple tactics. There is one to many kind of relationship. So if you do something and if that something is touching different functions, teams, department, they are going to get impacted. And most of the time, there will be a resistance to change you will face. Now, on the right-hand side, it's a new approach. In new approach, let me elaborate very briefly, at every level, there is a strategy and tactic pair. Strategy and tactic, they coexist. What it means that in order to achieve strategy at each and every level, at that level, we need to identify what are the tactics required. If you follow this, again, maybe it may not gel with you right now, but please focus, spend some time on this particular aspect, connect with the way you are managing your business, any kind of strategy you are devising. So if you do this new approach, then there will be an alignment from the lowermost level up to the uppermost level. Because at every lower level is aligned to the higher level. And that higher level is aligned to achieve the objective of the higher level. So whatever we can assume, if we have this kind of approach, then our all the levels in our organization, we are working in tandem. Our decision and action align to the organization goals. Okay. Now, how to make it possible? There are 5 components. Okay. In the rightmost section of the slide. Let's see strategy. Strategy is what? What for? What is the specific objective of this change? If you want to change something related to your human capital management, think about that as an example. What is the specific objective? I want to have a loyal human resources in my organization. They should not run away. Maybe that is an objective. Then you need to decide why this change or strategy is required. And we all know in COVID-19 impacted scenarios, we have to do this kind of exercise at every stage for every function. Next, if you see the tactic, the 4th one, it says, how will this change be achieved? What activities I need to perform in order to achieve my strategy? So the parallel assumption we need to think in order to devise any tactic to achieve the goal of the strategy is this strategy possible? The first thing, please, I don't want to give you an example. Okay, it's time consuming. I want you to do introspection. Think about yourself. It's a question mark. Okay. So I'm leaving it up to you. Will it be difficult or risky if I have this kind of strategy in place? Or the action which I have thought of, is this the best way to achieve that particular strategy? This is what we need to think whenever we come up with any kind of action. It should be based on at least these 3 questions. And last but not the least, if the strategy and tactic pair level, which is not the topmost bottom level, the last level, if it is higher up level, we need to decide, okay, whether in order to achieve the strategy, the higher level change objective, do we still need to create lower level strategy or not? I don't know whether I'm making sense or not, but just consider, we all know BOM, bill of material. This is something like bill of material. The last level is the actual raw material we need to order for. So last level in this strategy and tactic tree, if I may, is the actual action at the bottom level. Again, I'm repeating, in this previous slide, whatever functions are impacting you, wherever you want to make some changes, if you follow this kind of an approach, initially it will be a little difficult for you. But trust me, okay, after 10, 12 attempts, okay, you can do it so quickly. Now, after explaining you the new approach of strategy and tactic formulation, I want to share with you what these so-called pundits are projecting. In the screen, in the picture, you see 4 possible key scenarios I want to share with you right now, okay, to create your new strategic new normal. Many of you must have heard about it. Maybe you have read about this. Here I have to create 4 levels of recovery scenarios. If you see before the blue, wherever the blue line ends, that's the before COVID-19. Okay. This is during, is the middle part, and after is the right part on the horizontal line. On the vertical axis, you have the revenue in this particular example. If you see the different graphs, different scenarios, the graph during and after, let's focus on that because that is what we are concerned about. There are four different shapes. First, very apparent is a V shape. V shape says that it's a fast and full recovery, which most of us, we know that it may not happen. But there could be possibility, few of the industry sectors, they are going to witness this V scenario, V recovery. Second one, which I want to show you is, if you see the U after blue, it's an orange this thing. It's a U kind of shape. So it designates slow but full recovery. It will take some time. There will be a lot of hiccups and bumps. After lockdown relaxes, there will be some outbreak. Again, there will be lockdown, so on and so forth. Okay. Then there is the third one, which is in the red. It's a horizontal line. Okay. No recovery. No, it has not happened. But in some rare cases, again, there will be no recovery. So if at all you are part of that supply chain or you are in that kind of business, please, your strategy should be the exit plan. You have to get out of that business and use your knowledge, infrastructure, context, whatever it is, okay, for entry into the new market, new industry, new customer, new product, service, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Last one is, okay, which is gray, is J shape. It's a slow, it follows the U curve, but it is the way what I'm going to share with you. If you use these guidelines, you will be much better than U shape, slow but full recovery. But I want you to get onto the J shape, which will be slow, but at the double speed. Double, 2x, the speed wise, money wise, business wise, growth wise, whatever your unit of measurements are. Now, how they are going to impact? Competently, aptly, you must do analysis, introspection, in my words, in next few days. And you must start from today, after this session, after you finish your lunch, if you're not already started doing it. Your employees, customers, suppliers, how they are going to get change. If you want to have a J-shaped recovery going forward, you have to analyze this and take appropriate decision and act accordingly. Next is your target markets, your key business alliances. Okay, many of the SMEs, they are very, very happy. They live in the comfort zone. They don't want to get out of their comfort zone. If I suggest them, boss, your market is saturated, there are a lot of competitors on whatever the parameters, go outside your geography, go to a different industry. No, it's very risky. I have to start all over again. I have to do a lot of effort. I have to penetrate them. In India, it is not possible. It is good on paper. It is good for you to suggest us. But put yourself in my shoes and try to do it. The thing is simple, my friends. If it would have been simple for everybody, okay, why we are discussing all these things? Again, in new normal, you have to come up with key business alliances. If you remember earlier, I said collective, collaborative, coordinated, cooperative supply chain. So in order to grow, you must come up with key business alliances, not with Tom, Dick, and Harry, which makes sense, which is more relevant in order to achieve your goal. Third, you must do this analysis. Again, many of us, or almost all of us, have heard of weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. If you're not done so, please do this. It will require 2 hours of your quality uninterrupted time. And I would request to do 3 parts here: before, current, and future, and take relevant actions. Next, the kind of product, services, and solution you have been offering. Now think seriously. If you want to create a J-shaped recovery, whatever products and services you are offering, will they help you? Because even your customers, they are going to get impacted. In the solution I have highlighted, I want to share very, very briefly with you. please, my dear friend, come out of that you are offering products or services. You change your mindset, change it to solution. You are offering solutions to the problems and needs of your customers, maybe by way of offering products and services. But if you change your mindset from thinking from products and services to solutions, your entire perspective will get changed. Then you will put yourself in your customer's shoes and understand his pain areas, how you can help him to gain more. Then only in turn you will gain more. This is what I mean by solutions. Then marketing and sales process, I mentioned about it. So I don't want to elaborate more on this, okay, because it is very gray area. And most of the things which I'm sharing with you, there is no one shirt fitting everybody. There is no one size solution fitting everybody. We need to customize on case-to-case basis. Again, you have to seriously think about your locations of your facilities. Maybe manufacturing, maybe offices, maybe distribution, branches, whatever it is, domestically as well as global. Another, your distribution channels. Earlier, I mentioned about your distribution channels, which are part of the supply chain networks. From sequential, we are going to have, going forward, not immediately, but it will also evolve, concurrent networks. So how you are going to distribute? It's not only product services, even your, how are you going to share or meet requirement of RFQs? How are you going to communicate? So on and so forth. Next is, I talked about this. You have to focus on your role or in your related supply chains. And you have to even think how your supply chain is going to get impacted and going to get evolved. Then accordingly, you change your role in it. Next is TSTT is nothing but, in earlier slide, we saw strategy and tactic formulation approach. This is little two adjectives I'm using. TS and TT stands for transformational strategy and tactic tree. So ultimately, holistically, you have to come up with, for next foreseeable period in future, this transformational strategy and tactic tree for your business. Looking at the things which I have talked about so far. Definitely you will think about policies, practices, measures, statutory legal rules, regulation, and how you are going to do it, analysis. You have to do scenario planning, maybe on paper, in your mind, use computers, you develop Excel spreadsheet, do some simulations, because you need to even manage your risk. There are going to be plenty of risk. Risk and rewards are directly proportionate. And we are expecting more rewards going forward. At the same time, we have to think about and mitigate the risk involved or anticipated. Last but not the least, I talked about earlier slide, sensible technology application. Here I'm just focusing on few processes, if I may, or functions in your order fulfillment process, starting with the order taking to the execution to the delivery. How you are going to use the technology in your customer service, in your HR practices. We don't have any HR practice in SME sector, and then we creep. अरे वो employee कहाँ रहता है हमको मालूम नहीं है. Okay. Then in your supply chain communications, collaboration and coordination. We talked about this earlier. So you have to do this analysis, extreme measures. And fortunately, today you have luxury of time. You are sitting at home, most likely. Okay. Please use this is your greatest possible investment for your business going forward. Why to change rapidly with agility for betterment? Change, we need to change, but change for betterment, for improvement. Okay, not every change causes betterment, improvement. But here I have used two words, rapidly and agility. Rapidly, to gain the competitive advantage, we have to be the visionaries, the fast movers. In agility, as and when the situation around which we have based our assumptions, changes, we have to take appropriate corrective actions. Why? Very quickly. This is graphical representation. Green, current past performance, nothing to say about that. But normally we think in a traditional conventional manner. The yellow part is within your control. If you do something, you will achieve that part. So your goal is about the yellow part. But about that 90% of the things, see this 90% or 10%, they are only numbers. It could differ from business to business. But this only signifies the extent, the severity. Within control, out of control. So 90% we think, भैया GST आ गया मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ, गवर्नमेंट का ये रूल आ गया मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ, my employees have run away, what I can do, my customer is cancel my order, what I can do. Boss, they have done their part, you have to do your part. Don't surrender to the reality. Please think through. You will definitely come up with appropriate measures. If you take going forward, you will achieve your goal. So the potential is at the top of the bar. What I'm suggesting you, to the next thing. It's the same thing. But here in this part, current past performance, we are not going to change. We have to learn from our past. But what I have suggested you, it will not only help you if you do it seriously, sincerely, and rigorously. Okay? It will not only help you to enlarge your yellow part, but it will help you to even get into the blue part. So that it may happen, there will be everything you are not going to plan for, everything is not going to happen according to our plans, because there are n number of variables affects our businesses. But which is out of our control, which we have to live with, we can reduce that. That is what I'm saying. Why we need to do rapidly? We know that we have to change for better. Now, here in this graph, the straight line, the bottom point is your initial point. Right now, think you are at that point. Think about after 6 months, where you want to be. That is the topmost target triangle. Right now, this is a straight line. But if you don't do this rigorous analysis, which is impacting you, the factor is going to affect you. If you waste this time, okay, and if you lose this time, if you go closer to your 6 months deadline, the angle alpha is getting increased. What it signifies, okay, I don't want to explain you more here, that as you lose time without doing these appropriate things which you must do in the luxury of time you have right now, if you lose time, okay, then the size of efforts required, the difficulty of effort required, the pain of efforts to be taken in the course of those efforts will increase as the time passes. So why not we use this time? And most of the things, at least 30% of the things which I'm going to share with you even next few slides as well, you can do very well sitting at home. And actually you are doing it right now, consciously and unconsciously. You want to learn something. You want to know something. How can I come out of this situation, okay, effectively and progressively to achieve my goal? So please do this now. Don't wait. Sorry for emphasizing. Next, the final thoughts. Next 3 slides, I'm going to share with you my final thoughts. I've got only, it's already surpassed. It's 1 o'clock. Okay. Sorry, Parag bhai. Give me just 5 minutes. I'm going to close this. And whoever is present, please bear with me. Next 3 slides I'm going to share with you is a summary of whatever I have told you. Many of the things you already know. Change or no change, we want to change. Plus and minus, this is a change matrix. Please remember this even while you are dreaming. Pot of gold you want to achieve. So you change in the positive way. Then only you can achieve the pot of gold. If you change And if you take risk, then you will have crutches. You will handicap yourself. You will damage yourself. We don't want to do that. So we have to do the risk management analysis there. We have to do scenario simulations there. While doing change, we have to be very cautious. उसने बोला है, दूसरे ने किया है, इसमें मिल जाएगा. No, sir. We have to do some experimentation. Now, no change. Suppose few of you may be living in paradise. You don't want to change due to various reasons. May be valid for you. So it's a mermaid. You are in your comfort zone. How long you will be in your comfort zone? Sooner or later, the parameters in your surroundings are impacting you. You must change. Okay? And if you don't change, and if it really negatively impacts you today or tomorrow, what will happen? The alligators will eat you away. The market will throw you out. You may have to wind up your business. And then you will blame others. My friends, the message you want to take, only one message, take this. It's your choice. Either you want to buckle down or you want to stand up, make, and progress. Please, let's stop blaming everybody. It will not serve any purpose. It doesn't serve any purpose. Now, here in this cycle, I've put 4 quadrants. You may have to be a little bit closer to your screen. The fonts are very small size. But encircling this, we have to think about humans. That's a common factor. I mentioned about this, you have to formulate business blueprint, strategy, and tactic. You need to have synchronous production environment with buffer management. Okay. You need to have effective marketing and robust sales processes. Even if you are alone, you have to do this. Okay. And last but not the least, please profitably align financial re-engineering. You must do it. You have to have right kind of performance metrics, because it is said, you tell me how you are going to measure me, I will behave accordingly. Next slide. Now, in this slide, it's an exhaustive slide, so I will take just 1 minute pause after I will put all these components on the screen. You go through it. Okay. First thing is business blueprint, an example. This is one of the examples. You have to think about who is your market, who is your customer, who is your target audience. Then what are you going to offer them? We talked about that. Product, service, solution, blah, blah. Then how? Okay. What kind of value chain you are going to create? How things are going to get impacted to you? How you are going to create that value proposition for your customer? Faster delivery, no quality, better products, better service, blah, 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 whatever those parameters applicable to you. Last but not the least, what kind of value you are going to create for your own organization? We are for-profit organization. How are we going to enable it? How are we going to get it? That's a revenue generation. So for all these things, you have to do a serious thinking. Maybe you will require support from other people, but at least start from your angle. Next, what parameters? We want to achieve profitability, competitive edge. Now, competitive edge, I am not going to give you solution. Neither is my attempt to give you any solution. I'm going to give you the final outcomes in this next 5 quadrants. Okay, not 5 quadrants, 5 areas in this screen. The first one is financial metrics. If you create appropriate strategy, come up with appropriate activities, in each of these 4 key metrics I have put here, okay, you will get the competitively edge-driven profitability much sooner, faster than your competitors. Next one is your operational metrics. Okay. Next one is your customer service metrics. Next one is, we talked about human capital, human resources related metrics. Friends, please don't get bogged down. अरे पीयूष इतना सारा बोल रहा है, ये क्या हो सकता है? Possible है within short period? Yes, all these things what I am sharing with you It's possible within 9 to 18 months. It depends upon your burning desire from both the ends. Full commitment from top level to the bottom level. And determination. If there are any hurdles, collectively, in collaborative way, in cooperative manner, in coordinated fashion, we are going to face those challenges. We will come out winners. And all these four combined together, this is what you should aim for. Establish decisive competitive edges. If you're able to achieve in these four areas, financial, operational, customers, and human capital related, whatever you have been doing, little more, you are going to create competitive edge. If you do it faster, as I explained earlier, you will be on a faster path of creating that J-curve recovery. There you will achieve the competitive edge. Now, this slide, I have to rush. Leverage COVID-19. This is my second last slide. Before the closing slide, to transform from fragile to anti-fragile. Today we have witnessed we all are fragile. I'm talking about right now from commercial point of view, from business point of view. We want to create using systems thinking, business model, blah, 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 analysis, simulation, our self is anti-fragile. How? And just graphically, I'm presenting this. Red, okay, if there are any doubtness like this, if there are any failures going forward, if we face, the way we act, decide and act, if we create, because of the uncertainty, volatility, interdependency, more harm than gain, then tomorrow we will be victims of those indicators. We must avoid the red scenario. Middle scenario is the robust scenario. Going forward, the way we improve ourselves, the gain, what we are going to get, and the pain or losses we may have in any kind of downturns or failures, they will be kind of balancing. So we will be kind of neutral. But that's not sufficient. It's a U-curve slow recovery. If I may correlate, we want to aim for the rightmost green part. We have to create our organization now. We have to develop, train, do whatever time, resources, money we have, or we create or we gain to become anti-fragile. In future, God forbid, if we come across similar situation like COVID-19 or 2008, 2009, what we had witnessed, we have to create our organization, our teams in such a way using transformational strategy and tactic tree, futuristic living business blueprint that in future we will withstand any kind of issues, problem, and we will have more gains than pains in any kind of downturns. It's a quotation which normally fear, which we don't know, which is uncertain. Okay, so it only matters if we take them head on to come out victorious. It will help them. It helps us. The COVID-19 scenario I'm considering and I'm advocating for all of you. Consider this is a golden opportunity, lifetime opportunity. We can do wonders with this opportunity. If you have burning desire, full commitment, and ready to adapt any kind of challenges to achieve our goal. In the right-hand side, how to become anti-fragile. When demand not only exceeds supply, but demand grow exponentially, it may happen in some of the industries in next few weeks, next few months. Okay, then let's not talk about bottlenecks, the constraint. Let's talk about creating more bottles. What I mean here is, I'm giving you very thought-provoking. Maybe I'm taking you from Earth to Moon. Dear friends, if not many of you, at least some of you, think about expanding organically and inorganically, leveraging this particular situation. There are high potentials, your own competitors. Buy them. You can buy their assets. You can buy their customers, so on and so forth. There are a lot of other strategies. If you do this, then we can achieve, or at least we are on the path of achieving anti-fragile situation. Thank you very much. This is, sorry. This slide. Just again, I will pause. I don't want to elaborate. Read through these 10 sentences. Whoever is present right now, as a business owner, as a change leader, every single question here is extremely important. In your answers, good, bad, ugly, will help you to win or fail. Please, please do this. And be honest with yourself. If you cannot do yourself, first draft, you should make it. Then in your quoting, take their opinion as well. Then only you will be able to think systemically, holistically, in the whole way. Then only you'll be able to create a better futuristic living business blueprint, come up with transformation strategy and tactic tree. These are very, very important questions. Next. Thank you. With best wishes. Time, as I run out of the time, and you also don't have the time. So businesses need to choose between the benefits of improving their systemic performance, and you have to choose. This is the first option, and the cost of not doing so. You know your cost very well. Take the right step. This one more statement. We may not know what we want, but we must know what we don't want. And lost the screen. Okay. I'm signing off now. Piyush Shah. I live and work out of Mumbai. There is my email ID. If anyone is interested, they can get in touch with me. I'm passionate about helping whether businesses or people how to manage, improve, and grow. Thank you so much, everybody, for having patience. I am hoping and sincerely wishing that this was a worth investment of our collective time.
I've written my email ID. If you have any questions, suggestions, please write to me. My email ID is paragk@mccipune.com. So I think we will conclude, and on behalf of all participants and MCCIA, I thank you for providing practical insights and tips which would be extremely useful to the participants in post-COVID situation. So thank you once again for the wonderful presentation. I also thank the participants for attending this webinar. Thank you so much. We can
last statement from my side.
Yes, please.
I wish everybody all the best. Let's collectively win this war. And thank you so much to MCCIA Pune, especially Parag Bhai, yourself and your admin team, to make this session happen. And extremely sorry, I overran the time.
No problem.
Just hoping it will be beneficial to people who attended. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Yeah, it was extremely useful. And before we conclude, let me thank my supporting Satvisha, Amol, Madhura. They are there to support us always. Thank you so much. Thank you.